Good afternoon, families. It is Friday, January 19th, 2024, and I'm coming to you with our Robot Roundup vlog for the week. So we'll get into our top two. Number one, there's no school this next Monday, January 22nd, for teacher professional development. Number two, winter conferences are fast approaching. They are on March 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I want you this next week to look for an email for a time to schedule where we can sit down and discuss your students' progress thus far. And with that, we'll get into our vlog points for the week. So, number one, I'm almost done with our Winter FastBridge assessment. So when we do sit down at those conferences, I'm going to use this data and some other assessments to discuss your students' progress and independent success on things like math, phonics, and reading. So know that I'm almost done, and that's really fun because I get to see how much we've grown. In phonics this week, we finished up working with letters Y and V and are moving into U, Q, and X. After this, we're going to have 1 week of practicing the capital letters of E, Z, K, Y, V, U, Q, and X, and that will finish our initial exposure of the English alphabet letters and short vowels, which is really exciting because then we get into more reading and writing words and things like that as we move on for the rest of the year. Now, in reading, as we continue to practice those things, we're working on centers. So this is where we have multiple different things to do within the room, and we are practicing centers this week to help us get ready for that reading and decoding instruction as our phonics kind of changes as we move forwards into having the rest of our alphabet together. Now, today and this week, we were working on a game that a friend of mine and I made called BAM, where we've got some high-frequency words on some cards. Students get a chance to read some of those words one at a time at a table, but every once in a while we land on a BAM, and then we go through and count the number of words we have successfully read as a small group team. Our high score currently is 12 words, which is pretty awesome. So that's exciting. In math, we learned a little bit more about how to use the balance to weigh and compare the different objects using a scale. Now, we're using that to figure out which objects are heavier and which objects are lighter. We then used some Unifix cubes, that look like this, to then compare the weight of an object to something very specific where we can say, oh, we've got a few Unifix cubes are the same as one pencil, or 18 Unifix cubes are the same as one big thick glue stick. After that, we did have an opportunity to make a 20-foot long balance, and I'll show you a picture of that right there on my iPad. There's Miss Gail, our second grade teacher from across the hall, and me and some students on the other side. We used a gigantic balance to see how many students it would take to weigh the same as much as one teacher. Spoiler alert, I weigh about as much as 3 to 4 students, which is kind of fun. And then we compared students as well, and we got turns to be on top of that large balance, which is just really cool. Next week, our Roblox class and our 6th grade buddies are actually going to be leading an all-school crew assembly that's all about responsibility. So we read a book called This Class Can Save the Planet that is written by a local author, Stacy Tornio, and we recorded a few skits that detail responsibility. So I'm pretty excited that we get to have our class be part of sharing our knowledge about responsibility and that message with all of Lake Bluff. So that's pretty cool. It was a shorter week this week. The weather's kind of cold, so please make sure you watch the weather and make sure students are coming to school with all those good warm things so they can go outside at recess and play in the snow, get some fresh air, but also not be too cold. So I hope you are safe. Please have a fantastic longer weekend. Go Pack Go tomorrow, and I will see you next week. Bye.